Sick of getting blisters? Stop slipping and just be comfortable with Pure Grip Socks Pro. Great fit, great comfort, lots of grip, and an even better price. Available now at puregripsocks.com.
When it comes to football boots, I think everybody has their own opinions when it comes to fit, feel, and perhaps most importantly of all those things, even though it really has nothing to do with performance, looks. And I know there's going to be plenty of people that will strongly disagree with me on this one, but these might be my favorite looking football boots of 2024. Maybe I'm the odd man out here, but these are so cool to me. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to the limited edition Adidas Copa Mundial Spezial FC, a very special variant of the classic Copa Mundial that's part of a new lifestyle collection of both football boots as well as some apparel that for this initial drop has been kind of headlined by Jürgen Klopp, which at this point is kind of what the Copa Mundial has turned into. It's either for coaches or for referees, and that's a shame that so many people kind of think that way about this football boot, because as old school as it is, I still think it's a very viable product for a lot of people to wear, especially for somebody that struggles to find a comfortable fit. But I have to say, this limited edition variant makes some modifications that visually, while it really has nothing to do with the overall performance, I think make this such an attractive pair of football boots. For real though, you can't tell me that dominating a match in these isn't way cooler than doing the same in a modern pair of F50s. Unfortunately for this particular release, at its $200 retail price, this boot has sold out everywhere that it dropped, but that does not change the fact that 2024 has been the biggest push Adidas has made in quite some time for the classic Copa Mundial, where obviously you can get the classic black and white, but you can also now get the reverse white and black, along with a bunch of other country-themed colorways that have dropped over the last couple of months. So if you are interested in a pair of Copa Mundials, something that I would highly recommend trying out if you're a boot enthusiast and haven't tried a pair before, you can get them below their normal retail price by way of some exclusive SR4U coupon codes by checking out the first link down below. With that in mind, here's what's so cool about this particular pair. So first things first, right off the bat, they are still classic Copa Mundials that of course are made in Germany. You're going to see on the box that there's quite a few mentions of Scheinfeld, Germany specifically, but that's the same place the Copa Mundial has always been made, so that's just Adidas putting their marketing spin on this whole made in Germany push that they've been doing over the last couple of months. As far as what make these different from normal Copas, you still get the full kangaroo leather upper, black base with the white stripes. You are getting white laces given that black and white base, but they also do include black laces inside of the box. And then of course, you get that fold over tongue held down by an elastic strap, which is not a normal Copa thing. This particular pair also has this really awful glue stain that I just can't get out on the right boot, but given that these are going straight into the bag for match use, it's not too much of a concern for me. Obviously, the shape of the fold over tongue as well as the patch is totally different from a standard Copa Mundial, but what's so cool about the fact that this has a strap to hold it down is that's really one of the major flaws of the classic Copa. Normally you have this big flap like this, you fold it over, and then it kind of doesn't fold all the way down. The trick that a lot of people used to do, or probably still do if you regularly wear Copas, is you get some clothespins and you kind of hold it shut when you're not wearing the boots, just to give it that permanent flop. But what a lot of pros used to get back in the day as a modification is this elasticated strap sewn on to either side of the tongue to help hold it down. So the fact that we're getting this on a retail pair is something that's really, really cool, and to my knowledge, Adidas has never actually done before. So that's really cool to see. I love the accent of the red stitching with this kind of zigzag stitch along the sides. You have that Made in Germany logo along with the Spezial FC logo right there on the top. On the underside, you can see it says Adidas Spezial, which is really, really cool. You'll also notice that on the sides, the top two lace holes, or eyelets I should call them, are metal rings, which is something that we very rarely see in football boots. Does this really make for any major difference in terms of feel or performance? No, but it's a very cool little detail. You can see instead of Copa Mundial, it says Copa Spezial in gold, which is super cool. You get the white on the back, but then a red accent with the Adidas Originals logo, which I think is a very nice detail. And then internally, the insole features some special logos and branding with, of course, the final touch and probably my personal favorite element of this boot. The white plastic is now this kind of gum rubber brown color. It's still the same material, just a different color with red studs that I think just give this such an iconic old school but also modern look to it. It's really not until you get the Copas on feet where they make their mark though, where depending on personal preference, especially if you've only ever worn modern football boots, you're gonna put on a pair of Copa Mundials, whether it's this special pair or any other variant, and say to yourself, I love this, or I hate this. There's really no in between. With the one thing to keep in mind is that you really do need to give the Copas a little bit of time to break in, because out of the box is really not where they shine. I do think the out of the box comfort is above average compared to a lot of football boots out there, especially if you like that softer overall feel. And certainly if you're somebody that needs some extra width and needs some extra volume, this would be a fantastic direction to go into, because as you wear them in, that full kangaroo leather upper is going to stretch and form to the shape of your feet. Something that I've heard a lot of people complain about is they try on a pair of Copas expecting them to be super wide, and they find that they're actually quite narrow, particularly through the toe box. That's actually by design, because the leather is going to stretch that much. As long as they're not uncomfortably tight out of the box, you can live with that little bit of tightness, and trust me, after a wear or two, they're going to feel like they were made for your feet. Of course, once broken in, the leather itself doesn't have a ton of structure to it, so if you're looking for that super kind of locked in responsive feel that you might get from a pair of F50s or a pair of Nike Mercurials, that's obviously not going to come from these, and they're certainly not the lightest boots in the world either. But from a fit and touch perspective, if you like that soft leather feel, kind of like an old school sensation, this is pretty much as comfortable as you're going to get for this amount of money. Again, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but if you're a fan of football boots and you've never tried a pair of Copa Mundials, I would definitely recommend the experience. The only thing you need to keep in mind is the sizing, where normally I would wear a size 9.5 US. In a Copa Mundial, I tend to go down a full size just because the sizing is very off. So instead of my usual 9.5, I'm wearing these in an 8.5. A full size is where I would recommend starting. If your boots are already a little bit too big, going down a size and a half might not be a bad idea. Basically, what I've always recommended is if you're going for Copa Mundials, get them in the smallest size that you can tolerate out of the box, because like I said, as you wear them in, they're legitimately going to stretch that much. But there you have it, the Copa Mundial Spezial. Very special indeed.